Getting ready to go underground and take a tour to the Lost Sea Adventure. Hey y'all, we going down in the tunnel. I think we're gonna be over 1,400 feet deep in the Lost Sea.
How's everyone doing today?
Great, how are you?
Happy to hear it. Has anyone ever been here before?
No, first time.
Well, let's wait for
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I think I said 1,400 feet, but actually we are 140 feet deep up under sea. So just sit back and watch and enjoy this video as we actually go down into the Lost Sea.
Alright, we're going to continue on this. Watch out. We're getting some low-hanging rocks in the pathway here. Please watch your hand and be careful. Duck down, follow me, and we'll make our way across.
Be careful. Oh gosh.
So go ahead and grab a good look and good picture of this area over here to the left. Again, you can use a flash if you want. It's up to you. That one's called drapery. Drapery is made out of iron oxide or rust. But we here at the Lost Sea have another name for drapery. We call it cave bacon.
Bacon,
Yep, cave bacon. It's one of those rare instances where you have your bacon right next to your Rolaids. Bacon. Sorry about the dad jokes, everybody. Now, some of y'all.
Okay guys, we're going back up and there are plenty of bats. They say that lives up under here. This is their home. You got it, babe? Awesome.
Fine so far?
Yes.
Making sure. So as we continue on, watch out. The pathway is going to transition from concrete to gravel to clay. Typically, some people slip, trip, or get hurt around there. This is called the Cherokee Council Chambers. We call it the Cherokee Council Chambers because they did in fact have council meetings down here.
Oh,
You see,
wow.
the cave was originally owned by the Cherokee back in the 1820s. They obtained it through the Ocoee or Hawassee land grant. And the cave remains 58 degrees all year round. It's basically 58 degrees in the hot summer and 58 degrees in the cold winter. So the Cherokee would remain down here during the hotter and colder months of the year, just staying cool. Now, we know the Cherokee were down here because back in 1927, a group of teenagers came down here exploring, being us here at the Lost Sea, a cave here in, a cave in Texas, not here in Tennessee, a cave in Texas, and a cave in New Mexico. But we here at the Lost Sea hold over 63% of the world's population of anthodite. Anthodite only grows about 1 cubic centimeter every 1,000 years. So they are very slow growing. Sadly, this patch up here is an active patch. About 10 years ago, someone thought it'd be a great idea to jump up and give that formation a high five. And that's what caused it to go inactive. Anthodite is so fragile that if you touch it or break a piece off of it, it causes the whole formation to go inactive. And that's what happened. This one was grown for over 5,000 years till that incident did occur. Now, Anthodite is the only thing in the entire cave that the rest of the cave is privately owned. If you were trying to steal or break a piece off of Anthodite, you get fined roughly $5,500 per there. So y'all can come on over here, grab you a good look, a good picture. When you're done, make room for other people. Here, come over here. Right up here.
Yes.
That's cool how you look.
I know, so cool.
Well, that was one of the things that we further down the way, you said, ooh.
Yeah, I didn't want to. We might even want to come and still watch TV.
The funny thing about it, we keep going deeper and deeper.
I know.
Like we keep going, wow, who put that there?
Oh, it's like something.
Some
It's carved
carving.
in, yes. You guys, it's 58 degrees down here. And it stays this way all year round.
So we're gonna make our way into this chamber behind me. Just watch out, there's a rock in the pathway. There's this gate beside me here. And there's some low-hanging rocks this side over here. Please watch out for all these. The pathway does go downward as well, so watch your step and be careful. We'll make our way down.
Oh, we in the cave. we literally like
I
in the
know.
cave.
Wonderful hideout for sure.
We in the cave.
140 feet under. Wow.
Body of water came from the pathway we came just now, and the other body of water came from that pathway up there. Now, once those two bodies of water met, they created that whirlpool. The whirlpool then chipped away and eroded all the limestone on the ceiling, creating every bedrock pendant around us today, and created the entire room we're all standing in today. Now, the eye of the whirlpool would remain directly above us up here, until it would be smoother, chipped away more rock in a circle. It remains here until eventually one day the whirlpool did calm down, and drained through the representatives from out of the right down there. Make our way back up to that pathway there. That leads to the big room, the second biggest room we have access to, and the natural entrance. The natural entrance is roughly 132 steps at a 45-degree angle. So they're not even straight.
Oh, wow.
Now, all I do ask for cold dark decisions
Yeah,
keep
turn
off
off the
anything
lights,
that doesn't
y'all.
emit light, phones, cameras, watches, flashlights, etc. And
Okay, this is called the Devil Hold, and it's 13 feet down. And then from that point, they don't know where it leads or what's down there. Interesting. Wow. Okay, y'all. It gets in deeper and deeper into the cave. Down here we go. Okay, now I hear water, so we're getting closer. Wow. Well, we're deeper, definitely down in the cave. Alright, y'all, going deeper and deeper down into the cave. And we have to go down 7 flights of steps.
It's equivalent to 7 flights.
Yes, in order to get to the water,
Underground boat ride.
the underground boat ride. So, no turning back. Okay, I hear water. Oh, so cool. Close to 130 feet under. look cool. Let's see what it looks like closer down.
It's about some deep water never stop.
I know.
And it's 3 feet.
Oh, wow. That's what you said, 3 feet? So you can't really see it. Okay, let's walk back. You can't really see it. Because of the darkness. But we're going down. We're going down. Here we have the authentic Tennessee moonshine still. And this is where the Indians actually used to make moonshine, enjoy, and feel it. Okay, so I'm pulling on down. Let me get to the bottom and then I'll record again.
Now, luckily, he had his oil lantern on him, but when he went to this hole, he realized how deep it was. It ended up being a 40-foot tunnel.
Wow.
And this 40-foot tunnel landed him in knee-deep water in the lake room. When he landed, he held up the oil lantern trying to see the walls of the room, but all he saw was about 8 feet of water around him. Realizing there was clay in the water, he got some of the clay, balled it up, and threw it in every direction until he heard the sound of it hitting a wall, which he never heard. So he actually decided to climb right back up his tunnel, go a very fast route. That's how Ben Sands was able to discover the lake room. It's also why no one believed he could discover the lake room. So at that point, he decided he was going to try and convince his father to come down here with him. It took about 3 months to convince his father, and during the 3 months of convincing, the drought ended. So all the water returned to its natural level and went even higher due to the flooding period after a drought. So his tunnel actually got blocked up by a muddy puddle. So when Ben Sands and his father went searching for the tunnel, all they found was that muddy puddle in its place. So when Ben Sands' father saw that muddy puddle, he told Ben Sands never to talk about it again, naming his son a liar. So Ben Sands didn't talk about it for the next 60 long years. And somehow in that next 60 long years, his story started to circulate the Tennessee area. Until one day in 1965, when Ben Sands is now 73, there's a group of workers down here preparing for the opening of the Lost Sea during another drought. So they have access to this tunnel. I think after the first ever people down here, they decided to blast and draw them through the tunnel with dynamite. That's why there's blast marks everywhere throughout the tunnel here.
Oh, that's what
Especially right after you can see there's a drill mark in the ground right there, and they put a stick of dynamite right there and ignited it. You can see the ripple effect from the explosion. So they kept on blasting through until eventually one day they got to the lake room. When they got there, they realized how familiar that area looked. The reason being they've heard the Ben Sands story at least once or twice before. So at that point, they were going to track down and give Ben Sands a quiz on what they just found down here. And eventually they do find him and give him this quiz. And since Ben Sands has such a great memory, he got everything correct. So he finally got all that credit he deserves. After that, the workers of the Lost Sea rewarded him with the first ever boat ride down here. So pretty cool. Sadly, 3 years later, at the age of 76, he did pass away due to natural causes. If he was alive today, he'd be over 120 years old. We have a plaque to commemorate and memorialize Ben Sands upstairs in the lobby. If you want, you can high-five the granite one last time. Good job, Ben. Just watch your head and watch your step. We'll make our way to the boat ride.
It is wet. Oh, guys, it's wet, y'all, down here. Yes, there's water everywhere. Wow. Is the lake? Oh yeah, I'm coming to the lake. This is so cool. Wow. Right down to the lake, y'all. Oh my goodness. Kids are ready to take a boat ride.
Please mind the gap and step over it. If you end up in the gap, I'll get you out and you can try again. Practice makes perfect. When you finally get onto your boat, go ahead and go as far back as possible and grab your seat. If you stand up during your boat ride, that's going to increase your chances of falling off the 2.5-mile-per-hour boat. If you think somehow by some force of nature you're going to get thrown off the 2.5-mile-per-hour boat, Go ahead and try and grab one of your sea cushions. They come in red and blue. They can be used as flotation devices. If you can't grab one in time, grab your neighbor. They work just as well. If you can't manage to grab a neighbor or a sea cushion, don't worry, I've still got one last option for you. Just shout out which color you like more, red or blue. You got like 12 red and 12 blue, so if you cannot catch the first 12, I'll throw the second 12. If you cannot catch either, then good luck to you. That's the best we can do. And the final rule is to hold onto all of your objects, like phones, cameras, tactile.
Bye, Kyle. See you later.
The fishes you see right here are rainbow trout. They're the only fish in this lake, and they're not natural. We tried to stock around 350 of them in the early 70s as an experiment, with our phone number, address, and name. And that didn't happen either. So to this day, we still have no idea at all where the water naturally goes. But we do know that there are outsources because there's underwater holes all around. Speaking of underwater holes, in the late 70s, there was a team of scuba divers. And between these two lights, they found one 30 feet below the surface. It was 800 feet long. They went all the way through it as far as they could, and it led to a second larger chamber. It was about twice the size of this 4.5 ring right now at 9 acres. All causing them to evacuate. Because they evacuated, they only found 3 out of 4 walls. As we go further back, you're going to notice a lot more fish. And it's very important that you keep your hands out of the water back here as they bite. I speak from experience when I say it hurts.
People could even go fishing.
Yeah, we are going to sit here and spin in circles for a little bit as I pick out some food for them and talk about it. They eat every single boat ride, so you can imagine they are very well fed. Now these rainbow trout tend to lose 10 to 15% of their vision and 70 to 80% of their color. So they don't go completely blind to the lights in the lake on for 12 hours a day and on to the dock for 24. So they're never in total darkness for very long. Now I can't do anything about their color as now wild rainbow trout may be anywhere from 10 to 12 pounds. These ones are 10 to 15. The biggest rainbow trout we've ever had come from the lake was 16.5 pounds, roughly 13 inches long.